What if the world as we know is about to change forever? Picture this: a bustling city street, alive with the hum of daily life, suddenly silenced by a single, earth-shattering event. A leader falls, a nation fractures, and whispers of ancient prophecies begin to surface. These aren't scenes from a dystopian novel. They're the echoes of warnings penned centuries ago by a man whose cryptic words have haunted history. Nostradamus, the 16th century seer, left behind quatrains that seem to peer into the soul of our future. And as 2025 looms, his predictions point to three nations teetering on the brink of chaos. Are we ready for what's coming? Let's step back for a moment. Nostradamus wasn't just a mystic scribbling riddles in a candlelit room. He was a scholar, a physician, and a man who believed he could glimpse the threads of fate. His quatrains, four-line poems dripping with metaphor, have been tied to events like the rise of Napoleon, the fall of empires, and even the tragedy of 9/11. Skeptics call it coincidence, arguing his words are vague enough to fit any era. Believers, though, see a chilling precision in his verses, especially when they align with the fault lines of our modern world. As 2025 approaches, the question isn't just whether Nostradamus was right. It's whether we're already seeing the cracks he foretold. Before we dive into the heart of this story, let's set the stage. The world today is a tinderbox. Political divides are sharpening, economies are wobbling, and global tensions are at a boiling point. Nostradamus didn't predict the future in neat headlines. He painted it in shadows and symbols. Yet, among his many quatrains, a few stand out for 2025, pointing to three nations, powerhouses of our time, that could face upheavals so profound they reshape the global order. These aren't random picks. They're nations central to the world's stability, and their struggles could send shockwaves far beyond their borders. So, let's unravel this tale, nation by nation, weaving Nostradamus's words with the realities we face today. Buckle up. This is a journey into the unknown, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The United States, a thunderbolt in the daylight. Imagine a crisp morning in Washington, D.C. The Capitol dome gleams under a pale sun, and the city hums with the usual rhythm of power. Then, in an instant, everything changes. Nostradamus's Century 1, Quatrain 26 reads, Asterisk, the great man will be struck down in the day by a thunderbolt, an evil deed foretold by the bearer of a petition. Asterisk, these words, cryptic yet haunting, have long been linked to the fall of leaders. Think Lincoln, Kennedy, moments that tore at the fabric of a nation. But what if 2025 is the year this prophecy finds new life? The United States today feels like a house divided. Political polarization has turned neighbors into adversaries, and trust in institutions is crumbling. Protests flare in cities, online rhetoric grows venomous, and the specter of violence lingers. Nostradamus's thunderbolt could be literal, an attack, an assassination, or symbolic, a scandal, a betrayal, or a sudden collapse of authority. The bearer of a petition adds another layer. Could this be a whistleblower exposing a truth so explosive it topples a leader? Or a movement, born from the streets, demanding change? Let's paint a picture. It's mid-2025, and the U.S. is grappling with a contentious election aftermath. Tensions between federal and state governments are at an all-time high. A charismatic figure, perhaps a president, a governor, or a cultural icon, steps into the spotlight, promising unity. Then, the thunderbolt strikes. Maybe it's a public address cut short by chaos, or a leaked document that ignites outrage. The nation reels, and Nostradamus's next line, another falls at night, hints at a domino effect. One crisis begets another, and the country spirals. What happens next? History offers clues. The assassination of JFK plunged America into mourning and mistrust. A similar event today could fracture an already fragile unity. Some states might push for autonomy, echoing old secessionist whispers. Economic markets, jittery from global uncertainty, could crash. And in a vacuum of power, opportunists, both domestic and foreign, might seize their chance. Nostradamus doesn't spell out the ending, but his warning is clear. A single spark could ignite a firestorm. Pause and think. Do you see the signs? The protests, the distrust, the growing unrest. Could they be the prelude to Nostradamus's vision? Drop "I see the signs" in the comments if you feel the weight of this prophecy. China. The dragon's hidden cracks now. Let's shift our gaze eastward to a land where ancient history meets modern ambition. China, the rising dragon, has long projected strength, a global powerhouse with a grip on trade, technology, and geopolitics. But beneath the surface, cracks are forming, and Nostradamus saw them centuries ago. In Century 8, Quatrain 17, he writes, Asterisk, those at ease will suddenly be cast down. The world put into trouble by three brothers. Their enemies will seize the marine city. Hunger, fire, blood, plague, all evils doubled. Asterisk, picture a bustling port city. Shanghai, perhaps, or Hong Kong. Its skyline a testament to China's might. But in 2025, the streets are restless. Economic growth has slowed, food prices are soaring, and whispers of dissent grow louder. Nostradamus says those at ease could be the ruling elite, confident in their control, only to be blindsided by upheaval. A sudden shift, maybe a policy misstep, a mass protest, or a factional power struggle, sends shockwaves through the system. The three brothers are a puzzle. Some scholars see them as global powers, China, the U.S., and Russia, locked in a tense standoff. Others interpret them as internal forces within China, rival political factions, regional leaders, or even economic titans vying for dominance. Whatever the truth, the outcome is grim. Hunger, fire, blood, plague, all evils doubled. This could mean literal crises, famine, conflict, disease, or metaphorical ones, like social decay and economic collapse. Let's imagine the scene. It's late 2025, and China's leadership faces a perfect storm. A drought cripples agriculture, sparking rural unrest. Urban workers, squeezed by inflation, take to the streets. The government cracks down, but the marine city, perhaps Taiwan or a coastal hub, becomes a flashpoint. Tensions with the West escalate, and trade routes falter. The world watches as China, the unshakable giant, stumbles. The ripple effects are staggering. A week in China could disrupt global supply chains, tank markets, and embolden rivals. If the marine city is Taiwan, a conflict there could draw in the U.S. and its allies, pushing the world toward war. Nostradamus' prophecy isn't just about one nation. It's about a domino that topples others. Reflect on this. Are the signs already here? Economic strain, regional tensions, a restless populace. Do they echo Nostradamus' words? If you sense the storm brewing, type "the storm is coming" in the comments. France. The echoes of revolution now. Let's cross the globe to France, a nation where history and rebellion are old friends. The streets of Paris have seen it all. Monarchs beheaded, revolutions born, and ideals forged in fire. Nostradamus, a Frenchman himself, often turned his gaze to his homeland. In Century 1, Quatrain 14, he writes, Asterisk, from the enslaved populace, songs, chants, and demands, while princes and lords are held captive in prisons. These will in the future by headless idiots be received as divine prayers. Close your eyes and picture Paris in 2025. The air is thick with the sound of marching feet and defiant voices. Protesters flood the boulevards, their banners demanding justice, equality, change. France has been here before. The French Revolution, the Paris Commune, the Yellow Vest movement, but this feels different. Nostradamus' enslaved populace isn't just the downtrodden. It's a society fed up with elites, bureaucracy, and broken promises. The princes and lords in prisons could be literal, politicians or tycoons ousted in a purge, or symbolic, their power stripped by a rising tide of anger. The headless idiot's line is chilling. It recalls the guillotine's grim work, but in 2025, it might mean leaders disgraced, policies dismantled, or a government paralyzed by chaos. The divine prayer's twist suggests a movement that starts with noble ideals but risks descending into fanaticism. Let's set the scene. It's spring 2025, and France is reeling from a controversial policy, maybe a tax hike or a labor reform. Strikes paralyze the country, and social media amplifies the rage. A charismatic figure emerges, rallying the masses, but the movement splinters. Violence erupts, and the government teeters. Nostradamus doesn't say whether the revolution succeeds, but his words warn of a nation at a breaking point. France's turmoil wouldn't stay contained. As a cultural and economic hub, its instability could shake the European Union, disrupt trade, and inspire uprisings elsewhere. The echoes of 1789 could ring again, louder than ever. Take a moment. Do you see the signs? The protests, the strikes, the growing discontent. Could they herald Nostradamus's revolution? If you feel the ground shifting, type "the revolution is near" in the comments. The bigger picture, a world at a crossroads. Step back and look at the canvas Nostradamus painted. 3 nations, the United States, China, France, each a pillar of the modern world, each facing trials that could redefine their futures. A leader's fall in America, a power struggle in China, a rebellion in France. These aren't isolated stories. They're threads in a larger tapestry, one that could unravel if pulled too hard. Let's weave it together. It's 2025, and the U.S. is reeling from a crisis of leadership. Across the Pacific, China's internal chaos sends markets into a tailspin. In Europe, France's streets burn, and the EU scrambles to respond. These events don't just coexist, they feed off each other. A weakened America emboldens China's rivals. China's struggles disrupt global trade. France's unrest inspires copycat movements. Nostradamus didn't predict a single catastrophe. He saw a world where small cracks become chasms. But here's the twist. Prophecies aren't destinies. Nostradamus's quatrains are warnings, not scripts. The future hinges on what we do today. Leaders can bridge divides, nations can reform, and people can choose dialogue over rage. The signs are there: polarization, economic strain, social unrest, but so is the chance to change course. Let's open the floor. Are Nostradamus's words coming true, or are we just seeing history's familiar cycles? Do you believe 2025 will be a turning point, or are these prophecies just shadows we project onto our fears? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's unravel this mystery together. If this journey into the unknown sparked your curiosity, hit the like button, share this video with friends who love a good story, and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries that shape our world. Want to go deeper? Join our community by hitting the join button for exclusive content, early access, and a chance to connect with others who see beyond the surface. Your support keeps these stories alive, and every like, share, or super thanks makes a difference. The world is changing, and the signs are all around us. Nostradamus saw it centuries ago, and now it's up to us to decide what comes next. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.
I invite you to enjoy and subscribe to our channel. Share this video with others so they can benefit too. Leave a comment below to share your thoughts and experiences. Thank you for watching and joining us on this journey. We'll see you in the next video. Blessings.